Okay, you can start.
So the problem that I was able to identify inside the classroom in Colegio Santo Tomás del Bosque was collaborative learning and student participation. That is the possible importance of collaborative learning in students' participation on speaking activities inside the EFL classroom. So in order to introduce the topic, it is important to specify the background of it. So the situated background, the researcher was able to see how students participated more as they were working in groups and finished their activities effectively when doing speaking activities rather than writing activities or reading activities. The political background, as stated by Ministerio de Educación de Chile in 2012, collaborative learning is considered as a methodology that may increase certain abilities to learn and to solve problems. The social background, according to Johnson & Johnson, 1999, the teacher informed students that the expected social skills to be used by all students are encouraging each other's participation, contributing ideas, and summarizing. The empirical background is that, according to Ayodel and Olalekan 2017, the methods of collaboration can range from asynchronous communication to synchronous or co-location collaboration, and this can trigger activities such as explanation, disagreement, and mutual regulation. This means that students have to share ideas, they have to work in groups in order to get a solution to a problem. And the theoretical background is that, according to Ledesma 2014, is the way where you learn with others to live together to solve problems and take decisions, as I told you before. So this leads us to the research question, that is, what is the possible importance of collaborative learning inside the EFL classroom in students' participation and speaking activities? The objectives of this research is to understand the importance of collaborative learning in students' participation inside the EFL classroom on speaking activities, then identify if collaborative learning influences the participation of students inside the EFL classroom, and finally recognize if participation of students inside the EFL classroom on speaking activities increases. The research assumptions, according to Barclay, Cross, and Mayer 2014, students may acquire a higher level of understanding if collaborative learning activities are implemented, as they have to socialize with their peers. This means that if they are involved in collaborative activities, they will participate more. The theoretical framework is collaborative learning, firstly, that according to RINA 2014, collaborative learning supported the instructional use of small groups or teams where peer interaction plays a key role in learning. Speaking activities, as mentioned by Brown 2000, communication might be regarded as a combination of acts, a series of elements with purpose and intent. Therefore, as stated by Ramirez and Artunduaga 2019, EFL teachers are faced with the challenge of planning appropriate speaking activities that foster oral production, bearing in mind the reality of errors and students' correct reactions to them as a big factor for many communicative effort. And finally, the students' participation. As mentioned by Jacob and Chase, 1992, as cited in UK Essays 2015, participation usually means students speaking in class, answer and ask questions, make comments, and join in a discussion, thus to solve problems. The methodology used for this research report is the paradigm, firstly, an interpretive study according to Ortigoski and Barodi, 1990, is to understand how members of a social group, through their participation in social processes, enact their particular realities and endow them with meaning. The approach is that, as stated by Patton and Cochrane 2002, the qualitative research is characterized by its aims, which relate understanding some aspect of social life, and its methods, which in general generate words rather than numbers as data for analysis. So we use field notes in order to record information. And the design is, it doesn't there, but is phenomenological. As stated by Breneland, 2004, the aim of the researcher is to describe as accurately as possible the phenomenon, refraining from any pregiven framework, but remaining true to the facts. So the researcher is not biased. The procedure in this research is going to be observation in order to have a record of the phenomenon. Then an interview will be implemented, and finally both pieces of information will be triangulated in a matrix. The subjects and key informants will be chosen with purposive sampling, and they will be interview 6 students. The research materials are field notes, as I said before, that according to Bogdan and Biglen in 1982, as stated by Williams 2011, field notes are detailed and accurate description of what the inquirer sees, hears, and experiences. Detailed, concrete, and legally specific words should be used instead of abstract, superficial, summary, or evaluative language. And the interview that according to Gill, Stewart, Treasure, and Chadwick 2008, the purpose of the research interview is to explore the views, experiences, beliefs, and or motivation of individuals on a specific matter. So we have to search for the feelings of students, the perception of students, and their specific situation they live. So the proposed data analysis techniques, firstly, the researcher will use a categorization field notes matrix where the categories will be written, the information that she sees in the classroom, the subcategory, and the code. For the interview matrix, according to Hernandez, Fernandez, and Batista 2010, there are no boundaries between the designs, so they can be mixed. In this case, the phenomenological design will be used elements with grounded theory, as the researcher will use open coding in this case. So here is the participant, then the information that she collects, and the open coding according to the grounded theory, and finally the code. And the triangulation matrix, according to Malik, data triangulation, that is the method used to triangulate data, involves different sources of information in order to increase the validity of a study. So both pieces of information from the field notes and the interview will be compared to get a conclusion. Trustworthiness. In order to validate credibility, field notes, according to the Bolt 2018, involves persistent engagement of observation and triangulation by collecting data from different methods. Transferability has to be validated with seminar age, working groups. The amount of students may influence the techniques employed, such as field notes and interview. So it has to be the same procedure. Dependability, the same procedures should be followed. Confirmability, field notes, in order to avoid bias from the researcher, that is halo effect. The expected outcomes, the contributions, as stated by Felder and Brent, 2008, cooperative learning can be used for any type of assignment that can be given to students in lecture classes, laboratories, or project-based courses. So the expected outcome is that collaborative learning as a method to increase students' participation inside the EFL platform on speaking activities. Finally, the metacognitive analysis. It was very difficult for the teacher researcher to do this investigation because she passed through a very hard time because she was diagnosed with depression. So, well, I started with a treatment, and it was very difficult to be in front of a class with the treatment, and it was very difficult to be motivated in class, to prepare, to planning, to create new things. So the main challenge of the internship was to be able to give students the enough knowledge and the enough information for them to learn. The strengths that we identified was that the tutor teacher was very supportive and was very, she understood very well how was I could. So according to Vygotsky, 1978, using this method, collaborative learning, we can take account of not only the cycles and maturation processes that have already been completed, but also those processes that are currently in a state of formation that are just beginning to mature and develop. This means that with collaborative learning, not only we are aiming to students to grow as they are in the process, because they have to grow more. All these are my references.
Okay, thank you, Nayadet. So I'm going to ask you some questions now. You can have a seat there, and then pen and paper in case you want to read. You want to write some notes.